Okay, on Zoom, Christina, I need you to turn your camera and microphone on for me here. I'm going to be the only person who sees you, but just to make sure we don't have any trolling issues, I just need you to make sure you have your camera and your microphone on for me here. There you go, Christina. All right, what is on your mind? Septum rings, go.
Um, so I just want to know, like, is there an actual example of a woman in reality that you don't, have these negative words and thoughts about?
Okay,
Like, are there actual women that you have like reverence for and like respect for? Because I don't. It seems like you're on a tirade about women.
okay. Well, I think that's all a very interesting thing because I do think I just named a few females, for example, that I said they were competent at sports, for example. So I was talking
Right.
about
The
Joy
one
Taylor,
woman
and
that
then when I was
you
asked
said
about
had
females who
a
were competent in
strong
sports,
faith.
I just sat there and named them there too. So was that a problem also, or did
The
I
woman
just?
that you said had a strong face.
I didn't say she had a strong face. I said that she was not sports babylicious.
Okay.
Pam Oliver was not sports babylicious. What she was
Okay.
and is a competent sports professional. So she actually knew about the game and the players and whatnot.
Okay. So is there an attractive woman?
She is just not somebody that you would first and foremost think belongs in a string bikini to swing D cups. No, she belongs on a sideline reporting on sports because you wouldn't think about you can't name a male sports reporter that you would first and foremost think, wow, that guy needs to be in swim trunks on Sports Illustrated. So she strikes us as a sports professional first and foremost, not as a bikini model that somebody put on the sidelines.
Okay. So can two things exist at the same time?
I think the
So
word you
is
mean
there
is
an attractive woman
can those
that
two
you
things
actually have respect for?
can those two things coexist? Yes,
Yeah.
those two things absolutely can coexist.
Is there an example?
But
in real life?
the folks at your corporate networks have not found it. Because that's not what they're looking for. So for the places that you would want me to name it from, them guys are letting you know we're not choosing them. They chose a chick who was a bartender in Miami and made her a host on Fox Sports Net. That's the same thing these strip clubs do. They go grab somebody and make them a bartender or whatever. So the folk you want me to name from, when they start stopping that nonsense, then we'll have more folk to put in there. I don't like Jamel Hill as a person, although I do think she does have some competence in sports. I don't think she's the most competent. I certainly don't revere her, but I think she's fairly competent about sports. She's not the most competent, but she's not there to be babylicious either.
Okay. Okay. Fair. Also, I wanted to ask about, so you mentioned women in the military and just other fields and how they compare to men in those fields. I just want to talk about the military specifically. I really don't think that the position that women hold in the military, like that's very sensitive because women are, in my opinion, in danger in the military. Like the things that they suffer through at the hands of men just in those positions, like really can't even be fathomed. So I really just think that's an unfair comparison to make. And I just really didn't like that.
Okay, what are the things that you think that women suffer at the hands of men in the military?
In the military, they can be essayed like just very easily.
I don't know what essayed means.
They can be assaulted. They can be assaulted, honestly killed, and no one will even believe, what happened to them. It just, the situation that they're put in is just, it's really not fair.
Okay, well, first of all, the suicide rate in the military has always been an issue. First and foremost. So self-harm is really the biggest thing that would happen. First and foremost. Secondly, speaking here, I'm very glad to hear that you are concerned about what happens to women in the military. Although I'm curious why it is that you have no sympathy or regard for the harm that happens to men at the hands of women in the military.
Can you give me an example?
Wow, the fact that you just asked for an example That shows a shocking disregard for men's safety and well-being.
But you just asked for an example of what women go through. So don't you have a disregard for the safety of women?
But you claim that you're concerned about, if you're knowledgeable about what's happening to women, how can you be knowledgeable about what's happening to women in the military and ignorant about what's happening to men?
Why are you knowledgeable about what happens to men and ignorant about what happens to women?
I'm not ignorant about what happens to women.
So then why did you ask me to state it, what it was exactly?
Because I simply wanted you to clarify exactly what you meant. There's a number of different things you could be referring to, but in order for us to have a frame of reference so I can specifically relate to what you're saying, I have to narrow it down, because you gave a very, very broad thing. Things that happen at the hands of men. That could be anything from lollipops to nuclear bombs. Can we get a little more now?
We're all adults here and we know exactly what I was talking about. But
no, ma'am. I want to be very specific so I can speak directly to that. I do my best work there. Now, back to what I said about men. Now that I explained to you why I narrowed that down, now that I've narrowed that down in that regard, what about the men?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. Ma'am, do you know what the biggest mental health issue is that men in the military have? When they go on duty, when they go overseas, when they go on assignment, and it is, military wives are notorious. They are internationally notorious for, as soon as their men are gone, and many times before they even leave, for cheating on them, spending their money, in some cases selling their houses, running off with the children. This man is serving a tour of duty and finding out that the wife is gone and the kids are gone. This is routine. Oh yeah, and they go to their sergeants and their commanding officers in the military and get their help in doing it, because this is what conveniently you left this out, even though everybody knows about this. Very conveniently you left this part out, that military wives get assistance from the commanding officers. If she makes an accusation against her husband, the commanding officer comes to her defense, not his. She is assumed to be credible until proven otherwise. Now, that's standard operating procedure in the military, which, if you were aware of quote unquote harm to women, then you already knew that that was what was occurring to the men, or at least you should have.
Well, I'm an ex-Air Force brat, so I'm actually very closely, intimately aware of the things that you're talking about.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that.
There are two sides to all of the stories that you're trying to tell.
Yes, ma'am, including for the women. There's two sides to that, too.
Didn't say there wasn't. Okay.
You only brought up the women. If you were aware of the women and the men, then you should have given that same grace to the men before you even asked it.
Okay, I can only speak from my experiences on military bases and dealing with men in the military. I just, that's all I can speak to. So that's what I wanted to.
If you witnessed it, ma'am, everybody knows, if you've been in a military base or army base in the world, you saw both of that happening. You saw the women and what they do before they even get out of boot camp. You already saw what they do. You already saw they're sleeping with officers and anything else. If you're on a Navy ship, you already know this.
I was a child. I didn't know anything about that.
But she knows enough to tell me about what happens to women at the hands of men.
Yeah, because it's
very selective. Very selective myopia you got there.
Because the things that he saw. So he did not want me to enlist because of the things he saw. I have to say that.
So he only told you about things that happened to the women. He never said a word about what happened to the men. And he's a man?
We could see that in our home. I just said we intimately dealt with those situations. So it's that, you know.
But I had to bring it up. But all right, moving right along.
Yeah. Okay. So last thing, why is it seems like you prefer that women be in detrimental relationships as opposed to provisional ones. And why is that?
Okay. I've never said any such thing. So if you
it seems that way. It appears that way from your speech.
And it seems and appears that you do not understand language. So maybe we can try to clear that up. What person in their right, who in the world would advise people to be in a quote detrimental situation? Why? First of all, let's get you.
If you're judging them being in a provisional situation, it would seem that you would prefer the opposite.
Okay, define detrimental. I don't know what you mean.
Not being cared for. If these women are in a provisional situation and you're criticizing that, you would want less then, correct?
Who is in a provisional situation that I've criticized?
Eve.
You consider that to be provisional.
Does her husband not take care of her and provide for her?
At the expense of destroying her, of
You
making her a
don't
laughing
know
stock in
any
her
of that.
dignity.
You're making assumptions. You're making
Man,
assumptions.
I'm not assuming anything. There's a whole photograph. I already covered this. I did a whole program going into withering detail.
From a photograph.
I don't have to, ma'am. That's just like seeing somebody get shot in the photograph and saying you're making assumptions by what you see in the photograph. You take a photograph of somebody getting shot. You take a photograph of somebody getting raped. You're making assumptions. Really? No, I'm not. I'm making an observation. Please tell me, would you have, if that was you sitting in that photograph as Eve, you're meaning to tell me that you'd be okay with that? Nothing's wrong there?
That is a grand table where the two.
That is not what I just asked you. Let me try this one more time. If you were sitting there where Eve is in the exact same position, in the exact same environment, you're telling all of us that you're okay.
I wouldn't have a problem with it. It's a grand table, and my husband are sitting at the heads of the table. What is the problem? I don't. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm dumb.
Your husband's sitting at the edge of the table. You're sitting at the corner of it.
At the head. She moved. If she would have stayed where she was, it would have looked awkward. The photographer.
She looks awkward. She looks awkward there. She looks hella uncomfortable. Everybody else is smiling, not her.
Next to her son. To be honest, when have you ever seen Eve have a smile like that? She always has a mug like that.
Ma'am, I just did a whole damn program. She does plenty of smiling when she's hugged up on him, except when he makes her cover herself up. I already did this program. He literally does not let her take photographs with him with her chest tats showing. Now, she does show them. She's just not allowed to do them with him. Now, why do you think he insists on
area of her life? Like, if somebody tried to get me to do things that I did 10 years ago, I'll be irritated. Like,
okay, let's try this one more time. She still wears outfits showing her chest tats, just not with him. Why is it she's not allowed to do that with her husband?
Maybe he doesn't like it.
Oh, tell us more.
If he's providing for her and he don't like it, what else is she supposed to do but comply?
So he doesn't like her chest tats.
Maybe he doesn't like the way that it looks to certain people.
He married it.
That's why I said he doesn't like the way it looks to certain.
You're telling me that it's a perfectly fine. So you're telling me that it's a perfectly fine relationship if your husband covers you up from time to time because he's embarrassed about it. But that's perfectly fine.
If it makes him lose money, yes, babe, go make that money. I'll cover up my tattoos. Go get that money. Yeah,
ma'am. She shows it on plenty of other pictures. He just doesn't want it around him.
But you just said he married her, so obviously
yes,
he sees it. He's okay with it. He married her.
He just doesn't want it to be his representative in public.
Oh, well.
And you're telling us that that's a relationship that you consider to be fine and functional. So everybody line up behind Christine here and let that be your relationship where you're okay, except for the times he wants to cover you up for it.
What I'm saying is not a blanketed statement. If that's what Eve feels comfortable with and she's not being harmed, I don't understand the problem.
Oh, so your husband being ashamed of you, that's not harming.
Right. How? I cover up some of my tattoos sometimes. That doesn't mean I'm ashamed of them. They're just not beneficial.
Was that your decision, or was that your decision, or was that your so-called loving husband's decision?
It's a strategic choice.
It's a strategic choice. By the way, for everybody, for all the slow bus kids who missed this before, and we covered this before, by the way, I'm showing Eve's Instagram on the screen there. And you can see when I covered this all before in withering detail. When she's with her husband, she's covers that up. When she's next to him, she's covered up with the chest tats. Now, when she's by herself, why, she has no problem throwing them out there.
One time,
when she's with him, ma'am, keep going. Keep going.
Okay, we're one
going.
Two.
I'm sitting here showing you right now. Keep going. The real thing is, real question is, can you find any with him? Now, there's the real question. When you see her with him,
if she is complying with her husband in order.
Okay, we just saw one with him. I don't see any.
I don't understand.
I don't see any.
You have a problem with her complying with her husband?
No. Do you think that that's reasonable that he's ashamed? He's so obviously ashamed of his wife, and you're trying to call that a functional healthy relationship?
Okay, so if my husband had something about him that I just did not like, I loved him otherwise, and he was willing to comply with me, I don't understand the problem.
Okay, so I'm the one who encourages detrimental relationships, but you consider that situation there to be perfectly fine.
That he don't want her tattoos shown in pictures?
Okay, so and of course, if there were other things,
and I'm sorry, maybe I'm dumb, but I'm really.
Of course, if there were other things, because by the way, take a look at her hair, if you dare to call it that. By the way, yikes! You know, Eve doesn't actually wear her natural hair. I wonder if he has a problem with that too. But that would be perfectly reasonable, correct? According to you, if he can impose on her tattoos, then if he has a problem with her natural black hair, well, and he doesn't want that to be seen either, well, that's perfectly fine and a healthy relationship too, right?
I mean, there are men out here who say that they
Ma'am,
don't
that's
like
a yes, that's a yes or no. That's perfectly fine and healthy, in your opinion, right?
That she doesn't wear her natural hair?
If he doesn't want her to, that'd be perfectly fine and healthy.
There
correct?
are black men that don't like black women.
Okay, we're talking about her. We're talking about her and her husband. Stop trying to change the subject. If he says that,
we're talking about her spouse is not liking something about their wife. There are black men who do not like me as black women with the hair that grows out of my scalp. Like
we're talking about her, ma'am. Second time. Stop trying to change the subject.
In no situation would that be okay, but you don't even know that that's the situation. A. B,
according to you, it would work.
Men who do the same thing.
Okay, you're deflecting because you keep trying to deflect to a black man that she's not married to. She's married to that white man. Your desperation to change the subject means you've already conceded defeat.
No, because I just said that wouldn't be okay in any situation. However, you don't know that to be the case.
According to you, as long as he provides for her, if he doesn't like that, she just needs to comply.
I mean, not if it's something like about you. That'd be like him saying you being black is a problem. Like that.
And if
that's
he
not the same thing.
if no, he just wants
a tattoo and you being black is not the same.
No,
thing.
your tattoos make you look real street, and that's not really my thing. So I need you to cover that up because I don't want that to represent me, and I don't want any pictures of me with your tattoos because I consider that to be too ghetto. So cover that up. Yes, dear, and you said that's perfectly reasonable for him to want that.
Her not looking like a hood.
Okay, then stand on it, ma'am. Don't jump around all over the place. Now that you said that position, now stand on it.
I said earlier that it would be okay for her to comply.
Great, and if he also does not like afros, well, then it's perfectly reasonable for him to say, "Yeah, don't do that either," because that makes you look too ethnic for me.
So being a hoodlum is synonymous with ethnic?
Okay, I don't know why you would say her chest tattoos would be hoodlum, but I don't know if they'd be any more hoodlum than your tattoos are.
I'm sorry. I had
No, you just have arm tattoos. You just have hand and arm tattoos.
Chest tattoos are a whole different situation.
And I'm pretty sure you have tattoos on your back also.
No, I don't actually.
I got questions about that.
I don't.
You do not just have tattoos on your hand and your arm. That's not the only places you have them. You got tattoos in other places too. Yeah, that's that smile on your face. That's not where your thank you for showing me the other arm. So she got them on both arms. Okay, there you go.
This arm is naked. What are you talking about?
Right hand, left arm, abdomen. Right hand, left arm, abdomen. Thank you for showing me that too, ma'am. You got a tattoo on your right hand, a tattoo on your left arm, and tattoos on your abdomen.
Okay, you know what? And I did want to ask this question.
And this is why they call me the authority.
And that's fine. But what exactly is it that you're trying to do when you mention that I have tattoos and I have a septum ring? Like, are you trying to devalue me or belittle me? Like, what are you doing?
No, ma'am. I'm simply doing what I said before. I'm just making an observation. You're taking an emotional offense at it. But you're doing it in a manner,
you're doing it with an objective. Like, you're trying to do something like that.
You perceive an objective. What's the objective you perceive?
Devaluation and belittling.
What do you think your tattoos represent?
Whatever I want them to represent, but
by definition that can't be.
You're doing it. Excuse me?
But by definition that cannot be.
Whatever I want them to mean?
By definition that cannot be.
I can't determine the meanings of the markings on my body?
No, you can give them significance to yourself personally, but you cannot you cannot dictate what their significance is to other people.
That's
your tattoos and body markings and nose piercings are a two-way conversation. They are not a one-way discussion. They're not a one-way monologue. That's a two-way conversation.
You can feel how you feel about them, but I can only determine what they mean.
If you have a tattoo, tattoo on your butt cheeks, you don't get to solely interpret what that means.
Yes, I do. You can say what it means in some sort of overarching manner about, again, trying to devalue and belittle me. Sure, whatever, that's fine.
That's not belittling. I just stated a fact. If you had tattoos on your butt cheeks or your genitals, you don't get to determine what that means. That means you can say what your motive was for getting it. Thank you. As I said, you cannot dictate to us what it means. It's a two-way conversation. It is a two-way conversation, not a one-way one. So you can get tattoos, but they mean something, and you don't get to dictate to us what it means. Well, it means something to you. Yeah, it means something to us too.
Okay, so again, what are you trying to get your audience to do here? When they see a tattoo, what are you trying to get them to do?
It is up to...
Are you trying to invoke some sort of response when they see... what are you doing? What is your angle?
The human body was born perfect. When a person begins defacing that which is perfect,
even people that have defects?
Let's try this a second time. The human body was born perfect. When a person begins making alterations to that which is perfected, that means something about their mental and emotional state.
Okay. So
your arm was not born defective. Your arm was born perfect. You have later come and defaced it. That means something. I'm aware of
that. It was a conscious decision that I made.
And a person who deals with you needs to know the mental state and emotional state that would drive a person to do that, so that they can deal with you as you are, not how they hope you are.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You're speaking as though I killed somebody. To drive a person to do that?
Okay, let's try a few things here. How many children do you have?
I don't have any children. What does that have to do with anything?
Ma'am, are you going to try to tell me that you've never been pregnant? I just saw your abdomen.
My abdomen?
So are you going to try to tell me that you've never been pregnant and I just saw your abdomen? Try talking to one of those little college fellas who ain't never seen nothing in this world, ma'am. Are you going to tell me that you've never been pregnant? I just saw your abdomen. I'm just letting you know, by the way, if you're going to lie, you better make a good one, because I just saw your abdomen.
Please tell me what about... No, I've never been pregnant. Please tell me, doctor, what are we looking at here? What are we looking at? What are we looking at? Doctor, please tell me. Please tell me, doctor.
She has covered her entire abdomen with a huge flower tattoo.
Okay. You tricked me. I'll say that much.
I didn't trick you into anything, ma'am. What I'm saying is that you've been through a lot.
Who hasn't?
We have not been through some things that you've been through. Obviously.
No one's been through the same experiences. What is your angle here?
When a person starts doing that, especially a female, when men are dealing with emotional turmoil, we hurt other people. When women are dealing with emotional turmoil, they hurt themselves.
What? Okay. So what about people who harm people and do stuff that don't have tattoos? I'm not sure what your objective is.
Let's try this a different way. Since clearly our fathers, I'm responding here, young lady. It's time for you to learn something. Listen carefully. You've never been married.
You've never been married.
Okay, ma'am, listen carefully. You've never been married. If a man were to attempt to do that now, he's going to have to live with all of the baggage that is written on you. You're not a clean slate that he gets to start from zero with.
Who is a clean slate?
Ma'am?
What is this imaginary thing that you're talking about? A clean slate is an unrealistic
what is a man who wants to make you molded right for him gonna do with all of these pre-existing artifacts that cannot be moved? What if he doesn't like your arm looking like that or your abdomen looking like that? He can't make you the way he wants. He's got to just live with it.
Leave me alone. I would would tell a man like that, go away, go find a woman that fits the mold that you want.
Thank you. Thank you.
Leave me alone.
Thank you. And that is what most men are choosing to do. And those things that you have are the red flag warning signs that tell them that is not being detrimental. That is just being
I would
honest.
not want a man like that anywhere near me.
That is not being detrimental. That is just being honest. When you see warning flags and red signs, chest tattoos, septum rings, all those other things, we're not being detrimental. We are being observant that, hey, there's an issue.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
That's not being detrimental. That is being observant.
What is that? Why
you said that you want to
encourage?
You said that you want. You said that I wanted to encourage people to go for women to be in detrimental relationships instead of provisional. And I have just spent all this time going ahead and clarifying for you exactly. By the way, you're the one who endorses detrimental, not me. Matter of fact, you're arguing vigorously for it. But the problem is that you interpret discipline as detrimental.
In what way did I argue for a detrimental relationship? Please,
because both you and Eve are covered in hideous warning signs.
Oh my! Why are you making me a part of this? Why can't you be a?
Because you can relate to it.
I don't. My IQ isn't that low that I need to be put into the experiment to be able to relate to.
Because you were trying to make a statement to justify her situation, and I was showing you why it is that you thought that such an obviously flawed and broken thing was okay, because you're in the middle of it too. That's why you thought something so. That's why you thought that something so obviously flawed as her sitting at the end of that table like that. You couldn't see what's wrong with that, and I'm showing you why you. I don't know what's going
on at that woman's house, and I'm not making assumptions about that. You don't know what's going on either. You're just making assumptions. So
I can see perfectly fine what's going on. I'm looking at you right now. A female with a bull ring nose, tattoos all over. Right. Baby, there's 3 or 4 million of you all out there, and you all have the same story. You
are a very strange individual.
The chick with the bull ring in her nose is calling me strange.
What exactly does that dictate about me? What are you... You're not saying anything. A bull ring in my nose. So say
I've gotten 100 sound drops. I gotta go get my "Ho Please" sound drop. It's buried in there somewhere. Y'all buried my "Ho Please" in there. I gotta go get it. Baby, you got tattoos all over your arms, your hands, your abdomen, and I'm pretty sure on your backside and your legs. I am certain
I don't. What is
you don't have
any
right now? You don't have any tattoos on your legs at all.
No, I don't. What are you doing right now? You sound so crazy and weird. What are you doing?
So the chick with this is great. The chick with the septum ring is telling me that.
Bro, I'm not sitting here trying to make assumptions about you or what. Honestly, you know what? What high school did you go to? Because I'm from Shreveport, and what high school did you go to?
The School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Because if you told me what high school you go to, I would be able to pull some things out about you. Because you
ma'am, Shreveport don't dress like you and don't do what you're doing. We ain't got nothing in Shreveport.
You have to sit here and pick people apart.
New Orleans looks like you.
You hide in the
This
shadows.
is not Shreveport. This is New Orleans on my screen. This is not Shreveport.
Baby, I'm from Motown. Don't even play with me like that. My grandma is stay off Jewella. Play with somebody else with all that you're doing right now.
Baby, we don't. No offense. The
You're such an odd individual.
It's too macho. It's too macho, baby.
Sir, you're nobody that I would want to impress. So good. I'm glad I come off that way.
You've contacted me twice. Very clearly, you're very concerned about me.
Because the things that you say are very strange.
For you, I imagine much of life would be strange. I imagine it would be. The chick with the septum ring and the tattoos all over, talking about strange. I imagine you would think so. She's looking in the mirror and doesn't see what a huge, hideous contradiction it is. It would take a lifetime for somebody to get you straightened out in that regard.
I don't want anyone to do that ever. Please. If it's what you think is straight, God, keep it away from me, please. Protect me from it.
Ma'am, I hope we can keep it that way. You said you don't have any children.
I hope you don't have any children. You are a very strange individual.
If we can, maintain, or at least white men. I endorse white men.
Bro, shut up. Now you
Asian.
think you about to like? You think that's
Yes.
was that as low as you could go?
To all the
Try
white,
harder.
to all the white men
Try
out,
harder.
to all the white men out here, and
Try
I have a
harder,
chocolate
Jason.
delight for you all.
Try harder. You think you ate with
Yes.
that? Jason thought he ate with that one. Try harder, Jason.
I need some white men to call in tonight.
He thought he ate with that one.
Calling all white men, calling all
Harder.
Caucasians. Where is Charlie Dixon at? I heard he has an opening since him and Joy Taylor ain't gonna be able to kick it no more. Charlie
Okay,
Taylor, I
see
might.
it.
Charlie,
Guys, audience, it's because since he can't call me ugly or fat, he's trying to belittle me again.
okay. Would you like,
That's what it
ma'am?
is. Since he can't call me ugly or fat, he's trying to find ways to belittle me.
Do I have your
Work harder.
permission to? Nobody can see you right now. Do I have your permission to show them?
No, you don't actually.
Okay, because you just said I can't call you ugly, and I haven't weighed in on that. But by the way, on a scale of 1 to 10, even numbers only, where would you say that men rank you?
I'm not participating in that.
On a scale of 1 to 10, even numbers
why don't
only,
you just
would
call me
men
ugly?
give you an
Why
8
don't
or
you just call me ugly?
would men give you
Just
an
call me
8 or
ugly.
would men give you an 8 or a 10?
Just tell your audience I'm ugly.
Ma'am, you're the one who says you're so pretty you don't want anybody to know.
Just tell your audience I'm ugly.
Why don't we go ahead and just show them and let them make up their own minds?
Why don't you just tell your audience that I'm fat and ugly?
Because
Like,
because you made the assertion that I can't tell them what you look like and I can't make a judgment.
Do it right now.
No,
Do it.
I would like for them to make up their own minds.
But you talk about people all the time. Just do
Okay,
it right
ma'am, then you've just gone ahead and debunked it. There's no reason for me to go round and round about this because dimes don't have a problem doing that. Ain't that right, Joy Taylor?
Joy Taylor is wearing makeup and all made up. Dude, I'm in my house. I just had an appointment with my academic advisor like a couple hours ago.
Okay.
I'm stressed.
So
I got
she's-
enough going on.
Somebody's kid is on my phone here, but that's all right. We need to talk to them young.
I'm in graduate school, sir. Calm down. I'm getting my finance degree. Ugh.
Who does she
Y'all.
sound
Anyways,
like? Oh, what's his name? Jordan. Oh boy, I've got a fella named Jordan. I bet you two would make. Well, no, Jordan. No. Let me save him from that. But boy, Jordan. No, Jordan. You and me need to talk about this next time I speak to you. I think I found your female counterpart. How old are you, kid?
are you talking to me?
The person, the child with the septum ring and the arm tattoos. How old are you, Miss Graduate School?
I'm 32, actually.
32.
Yeah.
32. Tatted up. No kids. Hopefully she will grow out of this, although at 32 years old, yikes.
Grow out of no. I'm getting away from y'all that speak like this. Y'all scare me. I'm frightened. I hope I continue to repulse people like you.
Okay.
Thank God.
Well,
My God.
we've answered your questions here tonight. No, folks,
And I
I'm
thank you for that.
not gonna roast her about that. No, I'm not. But
Roast me about what? What they saying?
man, if any of us want to try out a septum ring or something, I'm sure you can refer us to a good person. And if we need more tattoos, because of course that's the mark of excellence in civilization. So all the respectable females have tattoos up and down their abdomens. So if they would just
Why
realize
can't people just be individuals? I
Yeah.
don't understand like why you have to do that.
what's ladylike about tattoos.
Okay, you do know that there are cultures that have tattoos.
Second try. What's ladylike about tattoos?
The Maori culture, they have tattoos on their face.
Okay, there's also tribes out there that do female
What?
circumcision. There's all kinds of things. You haven't told us
And
how
that's not-
how tattoos enhance your femininity.
How do tattoos enhance my femininity? That can be individually. I mean, for me personally, they can help sometimes.
That's a
But
simple
what
question. How do your tattoos enhance your femininity, ma'am? Second try.
They help me feel more, I guess, sensual at times, personally. But
A septum ring makes you feel more sensual.
that's not a tattoo. Or did you hear what you just asked me?
Ma'am, I'm trying to link things together here. You're making alterations.
My septum ring.
And by the way, that Spider-Man tattoo on your arm, I don't see what's sensual about that either, but
It's not a Spider-Man tattoo.
I don't see any.
It's a dream catcher.
I'm a man. I don't see anything sensual about that.
This is this is a chakra. This is just
That
a
is the
chakra.
that is the number 3. It looks like the dude from Afro Samurai. It looks like
symbol.
brother number 3 from Afro Samurai. It looks like that.
You sound very ignorant. It's a chakra symbol. Like,
it's not feminine.
I didn't ask you. Look at that. Bow.
Where's your man?
Which one?
Anyone.
One of them at work.
Call him.
Oh, I'm on my phone. Let me text him.
That won't work.
Yeah, because, like, what are we doing?
Because he's not there.
At work?
On Earth.
He definitely works at the printing facility in Maryland. But okay.
I'm sure he does. Work release program.
No, he drives a Tesla and he drives
a Tesla.
Yeah.
All right. Well, folks,
he's actually retired. Get some of that pension money. I'm sorry.
He's actually retired.
I'm sorry.
That was, fellas. Y'all wanted me to bring you the goods. I bring you the goods. Did you say you're in Maryland?
No, I'm on Mars.
Okay. Baltimore, y'all. Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore. Sure, yeah.
Baltimore, y'all. It's...
Yeah, sure.
It's like Atlanta without the glamour.
Yep. Y'all be careful for me out in Baltimore.
Just look for the chick with the tattoos on half her body. It'll be hard to miss.
Baby, that's 70% of Baltimore.
Yep. I don't know why we single with no kids. No, well, at least after the abortions.
Because the men sound like this, and we don't want to deal with it. We'd rather be at home.
Well, you're at home. Thank you for giving us a call here. Yes, sir. Hurry, step right up. Come on, fellas. Who wants to get a taste of this? Tats. She doesn't want to cop to the kids. You know, I've only been pregnant once or twice. Don't worry. There's nothing that the clinic can't fix. What? Nothing that the clinic can't fix. Bull ring in your nose. She's like a size 4, though. She's scrawny. Okay. What she saying? Smoking plenty of weed. I keep my weight down. Smoke hella weed. All right, let's see if I can get... I'm going to get a couple of folk up here on Zoom so I can try to wash the taste out of our mouths here. It's like I say, I just wanted y'all to see that. So she wanted to call and talk to me so we can discuss that. Ooh, problem? I would love to be the bed wench at the end of the table. I don't see no problem with that, deal.
Please join the Chaos Range Show. As you can tell, you see the amount of nice badge and custom emojis. Ooh. So as you can tell, join the Chaos Range Show. As you know, there are some perks. As you know, there are 2 tiers of membership. Membership 1, $2.99. As you know, the first membership, as it tells from the description, exclusive members only videos, and also some videos that will be only depending on the situation will be put on members. Not every video will be members only, but the ones that are members only or custom members only videos, you'll see mostly on the first tier. Stage 1, called Enter the Chaos, Stage 1. Now, the other one, the $7.99 one. As you know, there's early access to new videos, member shoutouts, photos, status updates. Maybe I had to edit. I might not put no photos, maybe updates. I might. We'll see, depending on how many people join the top tier one. And like always, exclusive members and members only live streams. And personally, as this builds up, I might do the live streams members only here mostly, roughly, than what's given here. Well, we have videos, so depending what is I could put on here, it post mostly will be on the first tier. The second tier, depending how much is built up, the There might be more exclusive live streams. Might be a little raw cut, uncut stuff maybe on the members only True Chaos uncut version, which it speaks for itself. And another thing, if y'all did not know, there's a way why I priced the 2 memberships the way they are. If you could really understand the subliminal numbering of why I choose the first tier $2.99 and the other one $7.99, I'll say this. I doubt people's gonna figure it out, but let's say for the sake of conversation, they come across why I came up with these pricings. I might give you a maybe exclusive, maybe a shadow, or maybe more. Who knows? Maybe something special. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? So, you know, contemplate why I priced my channel the way it is. There's a certain codified code I use the numbers for a reason. I can't give you more detail than what I just gave you now. So I want you to think deeply on that when you catch the replay of this video. So those are membership.